Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Open Mic. As you can see today, we have a full house. I'm your host, Francis Chidi. I'm a psychic medium. My co-host, Tanis Coughlin. Hello, Tanis.
Hello, hello. And I'm an energy healer, Celtic shamanic high priestess, crystal master. I do stuff.
Few things,
It's my
and
thing.
we have awesome guests with us tonight. Two wonderful, awesome people. I met not long ago, maybe a month or so ago. So, Malin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you. I'm Malin. I do stuff too.
Yay!
Yes. I'm just, walking a walk of service. And I have a shamanic background, and I also work with I'm a sacred medicine carrier. And I just love to be of service to people who need to find a way to see themselves deeper. So just support that walk. I'm no healer. I'm a healer of myself. But I feel that I lead with an open heart and good intentions to help and support. Yes.
Awesome. Welcome.
Yeah.
Samuel?
Hi, I'm a student of life. Also, we
Mhm.
hold a ceremony space, serve Kambo, Hape, and other sacred medicine. So I'm also of service and just being here, just enjoying life and trying to spread the good light, like good vibes, right? So
Awesome.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. I heard a couple of terminology. We're going to go into them in just a second. Just to say hello to a couple of listeners
Kaylee.
that just joined in.
Hey, Kaylee.
Hello, Katie.
Hello.
Hey, we
And
have Jacqueline.
and
Hey,
Jacqueline.
Jack.
Jacqueline, which part of the
Jacqueline.
world are you in? Because over here it's night. It's actually after 7 o'clock. No, I'm sure you're still in Ottawa, but
She is. Yes, that's
she
just her.
is.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you for joining us both and other listeners too.
Mhm.
So, uh, Malin,
Mhm.
what
Mhm.
is that thing
Yes.
called Kambo? What's a Kambo?
Kambo. Kambo is medicine from the Amazonian forest, for the Amazonian rainforest, and it is the medicine of the frog Philomedusa bicolor. This frog very graciously shares its medicine with us by the secretion of it secretes the when there's either on flight or fight mode, or when it is just motivated to secrete this beautiful medicine. It is then put in a bamboo stick that is dry, so we can bring it here as well. uh, this beautiful medicine is just harvested by the Matse tribe and other tribes in Brazil, in the Amazonian, Brazil, Peru, in Colombia, and it really helps with detoxification of the body, mind, and soul. Um, the secretion of the frog is put in this little sticks, bamboo sticks, and is brought here dried, and then we have to reactivate it again when we serve the medicine. But it also can be used just harvested right in the jungle as well, fresh. So yes, Kambo is sacred medicine from the Philomedusa bicolor frog.
So
Interesting.
I
Mhm.
have a question about that.
Yes.
please
Because,
So
that's what I
quick.
do. It's what I do.
investigate.
Of course.
So when we move things out of their sacred space
Mhm.
into a different environment, I it changes the energy of it, right? Does it pick up that
Mhm.
energy, or is it placed within the bamboo in order to maintain the energy of the area as it's transported?
I feel, well, the sticks that come from the same environment, and we need to be able to dry the secretion of the frog. So if it changes it, it is always dried on top of sacred fire as well. So I wouldn't be able to tell you that it changes it a lot. I feel that the intention in how it's harvested has a lot to do with how we maintain the sacred medicine. You know, its frequency and its medicine intact to come to us. I feel that intention is what really drives, you know, the medicine as well. How it's harvested, how it's shared, how it's chanted upon, how it's blessed, and also I think is very important in it on its way here, how it is received. You know, how it is in a way honored and put to rest. Like to me, I believe it's really important when I receive the medicine to put it to rest for a few days, you know, with crystals and just to bring that beautiful harmonic space into where it's received and to support it. So I personally, I feel that it's all about the intention and the way that we want to share this beautiful medicine, because it is an ancestral medicine that is being now, you know, allowed to be passed on to us, to be shared outside of this very confined space, this beautiful, not confined, but like remote spaces, I should say. So very much gratitude for this. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree.
Hmm.
Intention is everything, right?
It is. It
If
is.
if
Yes.
I can share a bit more too, is it almost brings you to the jungle in a way. Its potency really can be traced back, so it kind of blurs the lines of space and time, right? We get to
They're just a
commune
construct
with the
anyway.
spirit. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really beautiful to witness how this medicine even has traveled here, and it's really powerful. It's mesmerizing, to be honest.
I have more questions about this transportation thing. I just want to say hello to Nivra.
Hi,
Thank
Nivra.
you for joining
Yeah.
us. And if any of the listeners have any questions regarding this sacred medicine or the actual ceremony around it, please feel free to ask your questions.
Mhm.
So, a frog secretes something. It's harvested, put in on a bamboo stick, dried on a sacred fire. Most probably, if I'm doing this whole thing, there's shamans around that is taking care of it. That's how I would think it will be done, and then it's properly packaged to make sure it doesn't get spoiled
Mhm.
along its
Yes.
journey from wherever
Yes.
it's coming all the way over here.
Mhm.
But then you said you put it around crystals. Um, is that a kind of a ritual or a way to awaken it? Does it go into it's not a hybrid. It's you know when it goes to sleep. Um,
Mm,
yeah. So is it to reawaken the secretion or I don't know. I'm just asking.
no, yes, yes, of course.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you
leave
for
it up to you.
asking. Yes, thank you for asking. So Tani also shared like she works with crystals. I as well, you know, I feel that crystals are my allies in many ways. I use them for many reasons, for protection, to, you know, to put in my water for blessing, to activate my space, to protect the bubble, you know, that I make into my space as well. Yes, exactly. So this is not a practice that happens in the Amazons, not that I know anyway, but it is my own personal practice. I can also, you know, say Sam also use crystals as well. But, you know, speaking to myself, this is something that really calls me because I love to grid the space where I work, the space where I live. I love to bring the crystals to enhance the energy, to enhance the protection, and to cultivate the space of harmony where we all work together, where we sit in circle, where we live, where we, you know, consume our daily food, you know, where we nurture ourselves. So to me, this is a practice that I feel called to do because the medicine comes from so far away, and you know, and you're shipping it, and you know, it comes in whichever way you know, mode of transportation, and it takes a few days to get here. Sometimes it takes a couple of weeks or so. So it's, for me, it's really important to receive that medicine and bring it into a space of harmony, to put the crystals around to protect, support, to nurture that, to allow it to rest. Like when you take a nap, you want to feel refreshed. And this is just me, the way I feel that I communicate, and the way that I like to treat myself as well, to give myself a space of rest, to give myself a space of replenishing, so I can serve from a full cup, as opposed to deplete myself. So I like to bring in my personal practices and everything that I do in my life.
So it's a crystalline welcoming party.
It is a crystalline. Yes, exactly. Yes. And I smudge with some sage or palo santo or some copal, and I love to activate the space and to cleanse the space as well. So mhm.
We have a question. What kind of a frog is it?
It's a tree frog. It's called the Philomedusa bicolor.
Philomedusa
Bicolor.
bicolor?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And it's from a little section of the Amazon. It doesn't grow outside, or and if it's taken out of its environment, it actually won't produce the medicine. So it's based on its unique diet and the plants around and everything. It's a really beautiful medicine. A beautiful frog called
Yes.
the giant tree frog as well.
Nice.
Okay. And that's just specific to that small region of the Amazon between you mentioned Peru and Brazil, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, it's a
Okay.
small localized area.
Okay. So
Yes.
the actual frog does not move. It's just the secretion that is moved. Where do you get the secretion from? So somebody goes onto the trees and try to pull them, or is there?
So there's an interesting process where they actually call the frogs, and they mimic the sound that it makes, and it's like almost like a bonk. And they call the frogs, and the frogs come. And how they harvest it is they tie it on 4 sticks, so you can see this frog stretched out. And the beautiful thing is that once we apply the medicine to ourselves, we actually burn a little hole, a little surface of the skin, just to access the lymphatic system. And when the frog is harvested, it actually leaves marks on its wrist as it's like stretched out. So they tie it down, stretch it out, and they would typically use a blade of grass and tickle its nose so to activate the frog to release its secretion. And then they just take it from its back, put it on the stick, and they let the frog go unharmed. And even to the point that sometimes they call the frogs and they come again. But once they, at least in the ethical harvested practices, once they see that the frog has been harvested once, they let it go. They say, "Thank you, brother. Thank you for being of service again." They let the frog go. So that's typically how the secretion is harvested, and they use it for a wide variety. You said cleansing again, but it's warrior medicine as well. So the tribesmen use it to go hunting, to go out for a couple days running, and
Oh
yeah.
yes. Okay. Yeah.
So there's it doesn't necessarily have to be a shaman, but it is their way of life, right? It's their hunting and they're tuned into spirit. So I guess we would call it a spiritual endeavor, as everything can be, right? But
Mhm.
And
for
it's a warrior endeavor. And not to say too, like, I just wanted to go back to the harvesting of the secretion. As Sam explained it so beautifully as well. And when it's harvested in an ethical way, when the frog is called, and the called is answered, right? But there's also to bring attention to a lot of poaching that happens. So it is very important to know where your medicine is coming from, where you're, where you're sourcing, because we want to support the environment on which this frog, this beautiful frog, keeps on growing and keeps on, thriving, as opposed to completely the other way around. So it is very important to also be aware, and in connection with how, with your practitioners, and where the medicine comes from, if it's harvested ethically, by the actual tribe, like the Matse tribe, for example, itself, or if there's actually poachers coming through it. So just to bring a little bit of awareness,
Yes.
because we have all different kinds of beauties in this world that we need to come to,
Yeah.
work with. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for bringing this up because one of my questions was at the beginning. I said I would imagine there are shamans and native people that take care of that
Hmm.
because the energy of the harvester influences the outcome of whatever they're doing, and that's why I was asking about the whole process, and Tanis was asking about
Hmm.
what happens afterwards. Is that what does happen? What happens to the not what happens to the is there any influence of energies outside that is that is affecting the medicine, and it's a good part that you were mentioning is that it's ethically done, so everything is done with good intention, so
Hmm.
the intention is brought into the whole process, which manifests also into the secretion.
In it, yes, and into your journey as well. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. But I was in
Mhm.
Peru one time and visited one of the tribes where I just remembered when you said they use it for hunting, is that they put it on a little stick like this inside of a small bamboo. I don't know what it's called, and you have to put the secretion on top of that, put it in there, and blow that stick up the tree to hunt what do you call it, either monkeys or birds or whatever it is for their food.
Yeah, with a cerbatana, but I believe this is a different kind of frog.
Oh, is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Yes,
I was gonna
yes.
say.
Yeah, this is a different kind of frog. The way the Kambo is used for hunting is the actual, warrior hunter would apply the medicine to themselves, to gain stamina, to gain vision and clarity, to be able to connect with the spirit of the jungle and the animals,
Mhm.
but to also reinforce the body, to bring a lot of energy that these warriors or hunters would go for 3 days, on a hunt. So Kambo helps with suppressing cravings, to help, bring energy up. Like it really brings your energy forward. It brings a lot of clarity of mind as well, and even your vision. Your vision becomes clearer and sharper, especially at night as well. So it's many other uses. Kambo started being discovered later on, after being used as a warrior medicine, as a hunter medicine, as a war, in a way, like the tribes defending themselves and everything that goes on. But after it was also discovered that it's really good for the immune system, that it's really good in combating, illnesses and diseases, and moving energy from, what we can call negative energy from our bodies, and releasing that, helping with what is called in the jungle panema, which is depression, sadness, kind of like a gray cloud of, just looming around you, how we lift that off. So the medicine helps in so many other ways that have been, I feel, discovered, as we all commune with this beautiful medicine. And the way we serve it here in North America is not necessarily how it's completely traditional from the jungle. We all adapt and move, and we all bring our own medicine to our practices as well, which I feel is very important, because that is what personalizes your practice and how you serve people that are, that come attracted to work with you for certain reasons. And yeah, so I feel that, I have had teachers in my life that have always encouraged, to connect with my own medicine. And I always like to pass this message as well,
Mhm.
because anything that we engage with, it's an aid, it's an ally, it's something to help us forward, but it's not something that is going to fix all your problems. It is a way to get to you, to get you to a point where you can start seeing yourself, you can start feeling better about yourself, so you can actually start working through everything that is within. So it's It is very important to understand that too, that things morph and we meet each other where we are at. So receiving the wisdom from the jungle, receiving the wisdom from the different tribes that share their sacred medicines, like the Kambo and Hape and the ayahuasca and all these other things, these other beautiful medicines that are shared around. They can morph with intention as well, and but they can also morph with the beautiful intention and beautiful medicine of the person who's wanting to share that medicine,
Mm.
who's carrying that medicine.
So you mentioned ayahuasca. I was I was gonna I was gonna ask, and I'm not sure when, but I just want to say hi to Vivian because
Hi,
she.
Viviani.
Thank you for being with us today, Vivian. So the question is, what are the similarities, or what are the benefits of both of them, or if you know anything about ayahuasca and any comparison between the two medicines?
I don't serve ayahuasca. I don't work with grandmother medicine. I work with Kambo, and Kambo it's a medicine that is not a psychoactive or psychedelic, or it's not you're not engaging into out of body experience whatsoever. And I'm sure Sam, please feel free to jump in whenever you want to. Kambo is very much in your body medicine. It's a medicine that brings you into grounding, and it brings you into connecting with your body and connecting to all the discomforts, all the discomforts that can be there, like whether they are of the mind, of the spirit, or of the body.
Okay.
Kambo is great for disinflammation. It's great for detoxification. It helps move a lot of energy in your body. And I am of the belief that the discomforts in our body are the emotions that we're not able to tap into, to accept and to release from our body. So when we have them within ourselves trapped for too long, they start becoming disease, they start becoming a sickness, because it's that energy there that we are feeling the discomfort, but we're not doing anything about it. We're not tapping into, we're not going deeper into our breath and really realizing, what is this, where is this coming from, what emotions within myself do I need to release, like where am I feeling trapped, at least this has been my personal experience, and I have felt that within my life very strongly. So I also have learned within my different practices, and to move this energy and to engage into a soul search per se, or a search of what are all this, what are all these programs or behaviors in our mind that and in our actions that take us into those spaces, and be willing to dissolve them, to shift them, to bring awareness to this, and then embody it, to bring healing to our bodies, to bring healing to our mind, and to open our hearts. So I feel with Kambo, it is a very much in your presence medicine, very much in connection to your body. I would say it's a very somatic medicine. Um, it brings you to be able to connect and to move and release and purge what no longer serves. Yeah.
So, what can somebody expect of that kind of medicine when it's given? What kind of experience do they have? I'm sure part of it is like very individual, depending on the person. But is there some kind of general? Like I know with ayahuasca, it's you've got the
I can
whole
maybe
experience,
answer.
but
Sure.
yeah.
Well, so for Kambo, the medicine itself is actually bioactive peptides. So what it will do, it's around 16 bioactive peptides, which will typically, like, since they're bioactive peptides, they'll actually like activate different parts of the body. So they'll send messages to various parts, like the heart, the liver, the brain, to either reconstruct, rewire our relations with pain or even things like that. It will activate the guts. So you might feel like you need to go to the bathroom. It'll activate the response of your kidneys flushing and activating and cleansing. That's why we use water at times. And ceremonies can go a couple different ways, but what someone will expect generally is their heart is going to start to palpitate, to race, since the blood is flushing everywhere and the body's moving. It is fire medicine. So moving stagnant energies or anything such that will really be into play. You might feel your heart throbbing in your head, and depending on how the medicine is used and the intention, because we principally work with intention if we're working with a particular illness or whatever it might be, a connection to spirit or any blockages, right? We can help ourselves, and sometimes or most times we actually can drink water to activate the medicine and to allow the water to be a carrier for the purge. So the purge will be in this sense vomit. So we'll invite people to drink a whole bunch of water, sit with the medicine will move when it needs to move, go in the places it needs to go, and we're here to assist and guide and allow the person to go through their own healing process alongside the beautiful medicine of Kambo. So
Mm.
in this sense, people will purge typically what no longer serves or any. It's great for parasites to reset the intestines, the flora. It's good for a wide range of illnesses and varieties, which is what is very beautiful in this day and age, especially here in North America, where there's so many illnesses, so many ways that people are struggling with their life. And this is just a beautiful way to kind of take it into action, to hone down on anything and just kind of activate the whole system.
Mm.
Yeah.
So what you what I can what I can pick out of a couple of things that you said is that, does it remove your fears? Is that what it
Mm.
is? Because
Removing fears is a big one. If it allows you
I,
to face yourself and accept, that's an individual journey, we'll say.
yes, I would agree with Sam. I believe, Tani, when you ask, what's there to expect? Well, it's funny because the first thing I say to everybody is like, no expectations.
Yeah.
Let's be free of expectations, because, like you mentioned as well, every individual has a different journey, and every intention brings that journey into process and awareness. And Ramsey, into removing the fear, I don't think anything or anyone can remove the fear out of a person unless they're willing to step into that space themselves. I believe we are here, and the medicines are here to support us unfolding into our own journey of facing our fears, so we can actually come to that deep core, space of fear that we are feeling, and be able to work through it. What is it that is bringing this fear? Why am I afraid? Why is this anger coming? Where is this sadness coming from? Like, really go dive deep within yourself, and or within myself, and explore those spaces. Bring them to light, bring light into that space, and especially accept that space, accept it even if it's not in the light, and because it's not in the light, accept it even more because it's part of me, it's a part of me that needs my awareness. So I feel that when it comes to medicines, nothing is going to take anything away that you are not willing to let go of, that you're not willing to work with. And
agreed. My question was way too broad for what it does.
Mhm.
But my understanding is that it assists in getting where you want it to go by helping you overcome the obstacles that are in the way.
Mhm. Yes,
Would
yes,
that be more, rather than saying remove all fears?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I feel so in the sense that, you can come to attain more clarity in your mind. You start working through, as we said before, energy movement within your body. When
Mhm.
energy starts moving and starts being released, you start feeling better in your body. Your mind starts being clearer. Your circulation is enhanced because the medicine is helping you with this as well. It's dilating vessels in the body, so it promotes better circulation. Your inflammation starts going down, and you bring practices, within your awareness. You bring practices to support all these changes. The
Mm.
medicine is also working through forming new neural pathways, which you support these neural pathways by engaging in healthier, lifestyle, and a healthier way of helping yourself. So I feel that Kambo is a beautiful ally of transformation. Definitely a beautiful ally of transformation, because it opens doors so you can come and see yourself. It's not going to fix everything for you if you're not 100% invested into it, but it definitely gives those glances, gives that space to connect into yourself if that's what you're seeking through. It also gives space to cleanse your body of toxins, which in turn helps you be in a better mood and in a better space. Hence why it also helps with Panema, with depression, right? It helps clear the mind in many ways, and it's different ways, two different protocols, and which to follow, to following a safe practice with everyone. And taking time, to me, is very important. To take time to prepare the person that comes to us to sit with Kambo, to know that they will have the support afterwards. We always offer an integration call and then more support if there's necessary, but to make sure that they also in their lives have support around them, have space to take, and bring a little bit of silence and meditation to themselves, and to connect to their own needs, and learn how to bring, and how to nurture those needs, and allow them to no longer be needs, but just a way of living that is nurturing and growth for yourself.
And that's what we
Beautiful.
call integration in a way. It's integrating the medicine, the way of life, what has like
Mhm.
been shed and what's anew. So it's really important to, not to revert back in a sense, knowing that you've gained new awareness, at least in yourself, or you remove certain things, so you're freer to walk, to go.
Let me ask you a question. All these things happen after. Is there anything that happens before? Does a person have to have a set of intention before going into a ceremony like this, or do they have to go through a special dietary thing a couple of days before, or is it? I don't know. I'll leave it up to you. I have questions. I don't know what happens
Mhm.
prior to coming to see you guys.
Mhm. And in our practice, in my practice, in the jungle, they say there's, you can eat meats. You don't have to do much of a diet before you sit with Kambo. You're okay. But if you think when you're living in the jungle, if you think of what you're eating in the jungle, of course it's okay. You're eating very much with nature, especially if you're from a tribe living in the Amazons. You're eating what the earth brings you a lot of the times, right? When we're here in North America, we are, in a different environment, and I feel that we have to consider all, these different factors, of where we are and how our lifestyles are completely different. Starting from stress, for example, the level of stress that we live in these big cities, for example, here. Anywhere, any big city, it's not the same as being in the jungle. Every space has its stressors. I'm not making one better of the other or one less than the other. No, no, no. I think we accommodate to wherever environment we're living in. but it is important to bring it through. So when we're living here, we have more stressors. That's a pollutant on its own, to our bodies. Then we have a different diet. Our diet, we engage a lot in processed foods, a lot of salt, a lot of sugars. Everything is supersized. You know, uh, when you are not eating with a way that it promotes health in your body, you want to bring a little bit of a dieta before to allow your body to accommodate. And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong. You're coming into awareness of things that you want to shift in your life. So with understanding that we carry more toxicity just because of a different way of living, I feel in my practice it's important to invite, the person who's going to sit with Kambo to bring awareness into that, because it also is bringing awareness into the shift, shifting the diseases, there are within our body, that maybe we can have too much sugar, or maybe we can have too much refined foods. So when you start engaging into that, you're already starting to process and working with the medicine, and process the support that you're bringing to yourself. So I do recommend, Sam and I recommend a 5 to 3 day dieta before coming into ceremony. And this dieta is, just enhance your fruits, enhance your vegetables, lower into processed foods, not so much refined sugars and refined flours. If you're gonna eat bread, eat a good wholesome grain bread that it's supportive of nurturing your body, not bringing more stressors into your body. So I feel that in adhering, adjusting to the different environments, when we're here, it's great to start drinking more water, start eating healthier, so you can continue to do so after ceremony as well.
It seems that one of our listeners just got in and they want to understand what a kampu is, and is it a vegetarian medicine?
The vegetarian medicine. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
guess I guess so, because you're not consuming the frog or the secretion. You're just putting it on your skin in a way. I don't know if it would be considered vegan. Well, it is working with the earth and the plants and the animals, or the animals in this case.
Yeah, I would kind of consider it vegetarian.
Yeah,
Vegetarian, I would say. I'm not sure I would
no
say
frogs or
vegan,
harm
but
in the
No,
process.
Yeah.
and
Um,
it's spelt differently than that as well,
yeah,
right?
it's Kambo, and it's also known as sapo too, which is the Portuguese word for frog.
oh,
Yeah,
oh, that's true. That's part of the jungle is Portuguese. It's
it
not
is.
Spanish.
And another quick thing to add, sometimes before ceremonies too, even through the diet or not, it's you're signing up for a ceremony. So there's big like things happening. You're engaging in a strong energetic portal, and it's not uncommon to even feel the medicine beforehand, to either purge, or to go through the processes, since you're engaging in something very powerful, very beautiful. So
Well, the
it's
guides are there to start you on your way, right? That's
yes,
often
Exactly.
yeah.
yeah.
When people come forward to when the what I often say, the moment you say yes to Kambo, whether it is you're booking time for yourself to engage in ceremony, it could be 3 weeks before, it could be 3 months before, you're feeling the call, you're pondering upon it, and you come down and you say, yes, I'm ready to accept this. I often say that's when your ceremony starts,
Mm.
because you start going through what you need to go through. What needs to come into awareness comes into awareness, and you start going through your own process with your emotions and what's coming to the surface. So I love to say to people, make some time during the day, 5 minutes, grab your journal and start journaling down whatever comes. You don't have to think about it, just allow it to start coming, and looking at yourself in the different spaces that you are. Start just allowing yourself yourself, your authentic self that needs to show up, and the places that we need to touch, the places, like, the core wounds that are coming. I'm feeling sad. Why am I feeling sad? Oh, I'm mourning. Oh, who am I mourning? Where is this coming from? It's, and so forth and so on, and follow the trail. Go into those little, rabbit holes of yourself, and start really connecting. And you are prompt to do this. Like, people share their experiences in, one way or another. It's like, oh, I was walking in the street, and then all of a sudden, I met with this dog that reminded me of this trauma I had. And then all of a sudden, I realized, oh, this is where this wound comes from, this is where this pain is coming from. And ceremony has already started. So write it down, like, bring all the different things that come into awareness, all the different aspects of yourself that start showing up. Nurture them, because when you come into ceremony, that's what you want to, it starts honing into your intention. These are the things I want to work with. This is what I want to allow myself to be in this space, bring myself into this space. Yeah,
I
and some
often,
others, sorry.
no, no, go ahead.
No, I said some other times it is also so beautifully guided that you just end up where you need to be with the intention of receiving what you need to receive in that moment as well. So yeah, there's no one way or the other. I think everything it's allowed when it comes to connecting with our own spirit and allowing the guidance of the Great Spirit to come through.
Um, is a ceremony a one timer, 7 to 9, 6 to 8, or is it a series of ceremonies that you have to follow? Let's say day one, you come, you do the ceremony, you take a break, you have to go through a certain mental, emotional purging, and then you come for a session two, and then you go afterwards for a third day of other purging, and then you come for the third ceremony and group it into one? Or is it a
Mhm.
I come in one time, take the medicine, and do what I have to do, and then it's supposed to work on its own afterwards.
Mhm. For that, personally, I don't have rules into how things are meant to happen.
Mhm.
In my practice, with my personal practice, and with clients or participants that come to ceremony, if you've never sat with Kambo before, I love to invite people to come and sit for 3 times. And it can be 3 times under a lunar cycle, or it could be 3 times back to back. So 3 days or 2 days. Why is that? The first time you sit, it's a very, beautiful, gentle serving for you to be able to connect to the spirit of this medicine, and for you to be able to connect to your own spirit. And I love to say this allows for a lot of emotions to come into the surface, and to, again, hone into that intention in that space of ceremony. Then, of course, the person will rest. A lot of the times, I said no expectation, but it's a very gentle, beautiful way of building this connection as you start to sit in ceremony. And then there's a period of rest. And this period of rest is, everybody's different, and how you respond to the medicine in that moment, because of what is it that you're bringing in, where in what space you are in that moment, will work differently. Sometimes you'll be exhausted, sometimes you'll be ready to run a marathon, and sometimes you take 20-minute rest and you spring up like, nothing happened. So it all depends according to the person that is sitting with the medicine. Then, as soon as that person feels in the right space again, then we sit another time. It's beautiful to sit 3 times when it's the first time. The second time, we you know we I feel what we do is, every sitting we deepen into that intention a little bit more. I love to support people to really deepen into their their feelings into their intention, because sometimes I feel we work through it, and we feel better, but we can always go a little, if it's allowed, if it's possible, if it's the right space, to really go into seeing yourself and bringing up as much as possible that you want to see. And this is in whether we're seeing something that we want to shift within ourselves, a pattern or a program, or whether it is that we just want to enhance, and connect to the blissful light that we are. Like, Kambo is not just to say that it's something to go dig into, detoxify everything about our lives. Kambo is also here to connect to yourself and to teach you more about yourself and to enhance that light within you, to give you that space so you can enhance that life within yourself. If you've sat the first time, I would recommend definitely 3 times. If you already have a journey with the medicine, I feel is what you need. So strongly encourage our participants to tap into their intuition. And these are questions that, we have a call before ceremony. These are questions that would come in. How do you feel you want to work with the medicine? It is so important to empower each other. This is, like I said, I can speak for myself. I'm not a healer. I am here holding the space, sharing the medicines, and if anything, I don't even like to call myself a guide, but just holding the space so you can hear yourself, so you can hear your voice, so you can feel your presence, feel your energy, so you can really tap into who you are, and feeling supported and safe in that space as you encounter yourself. So that's why also the empowerment of how do you want to sit with the medicine, what do you feel the medicine is telling you. Sometimes people will know right away, and sometimes they ask, what's your intuition telling you, and then it's always a share, and you will always be encouraged to make the decision for yourself.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's very enlightening. um I have so many questions I can't stop. But
Please.
I'll make this one easier. You mentioned that the medicine helps you relieve or remove certain inhibitions. It helps you with mental clarity. It helps you with emotional issues. I don't know, emotional and physical are very connected. And it's so connected that an emotion always comes out in a physical part. How does the medicine help the physical part of the human being during that journey of, I'm going to call it enlightening, because it opens up a lot of things for the person. So how does it also help them in removing physical pains or some other physical ailment that they might have? I know you might not have an answer, but that's fine. But if you do have an answer, I'm interested to hear about it.
I would say I'm a student of life for sure, and I don't have all the answers. And Sam, please jump in whenever you can. I I'm not a physician as well, but what I know about the camo is that it enters through the lymphatic system. So it does help cleanse and release the toxins from the lymphatic system that come from that helps also cleanse the liver and the pancreas and the kidneys. So all of this is flush through the lymphatic system. And that is how I understand that it supports as well. I don't have the words. I have more understanding as well. Sam, if you want to jump into
Yeah.
anytime, please.
So
But
with the yeah.
Before you jump, I just want to say we're not doctors over
mhm.
here. This
No,
Yes,
is
no,
this is
yes.
for our
Please,
listeners.
no.
This
for
comes out.
entertainment purposes only,
Yes.
folks.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Contact your local doctor or physician before sitting with sacred medicine.
Yes.
Exactly.
But on that note, there are a lot of studies on the benefit of peptides. and especially the peptides found in Kambo. And just based on the research of what Kambo is composed of, it has a lot of benefits towards, like we mentioned, pain. So one of the peptide is will basically rewire the brain's relation with pain. Essentially, is what it does. It's so even from our earliest childhood, if we use Tylenol or any pain medication, it can actually null or numb down some pain receptors in our brains and the way we develop. So actually going through that process can reignite the I was going to say the passion for pain, but the passion for our growth and our connection to ourselves. Because pain doesn't have to be painful, or it doesn't have to be bad, right?
Yeah.
So it's really, in that sense, that's one way that can definitely help. Like we said, the medicine itself is fire medicine. So in your whole physiology, your etherical being, if you lack fire, or fire can enhance you in a certain way, or bring you to balance or harmony, it's definitely viable in that sense to just harmonize the being and working with the elements, working with the sacred medicine, and bring someone to oneself in a sense, just allowing them to witness themselves and the process that their body normally goes through. It can be very profound and beautiful. And once we, cleanse and remove anything that's been like heavy on our shoulders, like, oh, we can gain lightness again. And that can be a catalyst for, more change within our being. And speaking about the Panama as we were sharing, and what brings to mind is we can quantum leap in a sense too. It can literally change our whole field as it works with, they say, 7 generations back and 7 generations forward. So Kambo can be a very powerful ally to kind of cleanse, restore, and bring yourself back down to earth into your warrior element. Always with peace, love, and harmony. But
Light warrior, the light warrior element.
of course, that's it. So it's very beautiful to witness, and it's worked in conjunction with Hape and Sananga as well.
What are
So
these?
the Hape is mapacho, which is tobacco it's wild tobacco from the Amazonian jungle. It's known as Nicotina mystica, and it's about 10 to 20 times more potent in nicotine than our conventional tobacco. It's harvested with care, with intention, and the way it's processed, it's grounded into a fine powder. Sorry to jump in the happy. It felt natural to kind of, but yeah. So it's basically grounded tobacco. They use it and they powder it up in a very very fine powder, and they mix it with ashes of different plants. It could be the tree bark or the inside of a cacao shell, cacao husk, and they use basically different ashes of different plants to enhance and smoothen the hape, the tobacco powder, and that will give it its unique properties. So you're working with different spirits, different plants, and different intentions that the tobacco is made into, basically. And that's basically blown through the nose. We can use it before the ceremony or before Kambo, or even during as well to aid any processes. Basically, um, yeah, tobacco is a very potent, beautiful medicine. It's they
Uh,
they
I don't know if you would know that. Would that the same type of tobacco that is used in other ceremonies, like the plant medicine?
Yeah, in a way, it depends. There's tobacco from here, from North America, that is that
No, no,
is
no,
on its own.
the one from the jungle
Yeah,
that they use the shamans.
yeah,
Mapacho, yes.
it's mapacho. It's tobacco from South America.
Okay.
It's a wild form of tobacco that grows in the Amazonian jungle. Yes, and it is used for ceremonial purposes, for healing purposes as well. Tobacco dietas.
Okay.
Yes, and it's also what it's used to make the hape as well. It's a really beautiful, strong tobacco. I said, like, that grows wildly. Mhm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Guess what? We're at 54, 55 minutes
Oh
almost,
my
and
goodness.
already the hour
Yeah.
flew
Yeah.
by in such a short period of time. It's
Mhm.
amazing. Um, do you have any ceremonies that are coming up that you would like to talk about? I know we're getting into two eclipses that are coming up within a couple of days. Uh,
Yes,
are you
yes.
planning for something grand in between or after? So
In
please let
be
us.
in between, yeah. So every Thursday nights, we at 7 p.m. in Point St. Charles, we have Happy Circle. As Sam mentioned, the beautiful medicine of Hape that is here to help us clear energy as well, and to just help with that monkey mind, to quiet the monkey mind, so we can listen to ourselves in a meditative space. It's really beautiful. We accompany that with sound and a lot of drumming as well. So if you feel called to come Thursdays at 7, it's a great time to share in circle with the medicine and the frequency of happy. They're small. Our ceremonies are small and intimate right now, so we really ask people to let us know if they're coming, because we can host about a group about us 6 to 8 people.
Where can they
And
find you to register for that?
on our Happy Happy page or Malin Sacred Space, and this is on Instagram, both pages, and I'll share the links.
Yeah.
And also for the 30th of March, we have Kambo Inner Child Journey, where our intention for this particular ceremony is to hold space for all of us who want to work with our inner child, to bring our inner child forward in whichever way it's ready to come, to acknowledge it, to nurture the inner child. And we are sitting with Kambo, we're using drum medicine, we're using sound medicine, and we're also engaging into some art integration as well to support the inner child work. So this is on the 30th of March, and we start at 10 in the morning till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And connect with us, because we will have to, we just go through initial phone call to make sure that you like to work with us and we like to work with you, and we go from there. Yeah. Yes. And we'll be posting our links as well under your page.
Yeah.
Just did.
And
Mhm. No, thank
Tanis
you.
just put it on total. Thank you, Tanis. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's good so that people could know where to go and be able to
Mhm.
connect with you. So these are the ceremonies that you have coming up.
Yes, and for us, it's very important the one-on-one connection. All the medicines we share them by connecting personally, directly to the people. Even with our hape, the way we share our hape is with, connecting with other practitioners, and practitioners with the participants, and so on. Because it is very important for us that the medicine is shared in an ethical way. That, for example, when it comes to hape, that people know how to develop a relationship and a private practice with hape. All medicines have, they can be poison and they can be medicine, and it's really beautiful to be able to come into balance with medicines. So sometimes guidance is necessary, sometimes just the fact that we sit in circle and bring awareness to that is more than enough. So for us is a connection, one-on-one connection, personal connection is super important for this.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Mhm. Yes.
And we also travel. Sorry, we also travel to Toronto or
Yes.
Ontario in general. So
Mhm.
we're free to travel to host ceremonies and hold circles.
Which part of Ontario? Because Tanis is in Ottawa.
Mhm.
Well, we can go to
Well,
Ottawa.
from Montreal to Toronto, so everything that's in between,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
more, and more.
And more. Yes. Everywhere where
Calgary,
it's
and
needed and we can have some time to plan, we definitely
yeah,
Yeah.
love to
Maybe
share the medicine on the road too. Yes.
Tanis will talk about having something in Ottawa. It'll
Mhm.
be interesting to bring it over there too.
Beautiful.
Thank you. And Tanis, do you have anything coming up?
Do I have anything coming up?
I'm
Well,
sure
that
you
is,
have a couple of what do you call it, circles that are happening
I
with all
do.
the eclipses.
Indeed. Yep. So we've got on, is it this Monday? Next Monday, I guess, on the eclipse, we've got basically an eclipse. I have an enlightenment evening every Monday or every month on a first Monday of the month, and it happens to fall on the new moon and the solar eclipse. And so we're going to be doing a big ceremony that night to sort of calm the waters and bring in what we want to bring in and bring in that beautiful manifesting energy, because that's going to continue for about 3.5 years with the every time the Mercury retrograde comes up, it's going to come up. And in preparation for that, we have a vision board class that's coming up, and that is next Tuesday on the 26th. So Jacqueline Richards is doing that one. And what else have we got?
That's for the full moon, right?
It's just after the full moon. It's on the Tuesday. So the full moon is on the Monday. So full moon's a great place to get rid of stuff. Release. And then on the 26th, we start setting our intentions for what we want to manifest. And then as the new moon comes in, we put that into action. So that's what's coming up here. And, we got our Twillo Talk every Monday. We've got a special guest coming Monday. This coming one is Rhonda Hart. And so that'll be a fun one. And we've got lots of fun guests coming in the next couple of months. So stay tuned.
That's awesome. On my end, we have Spirit Cafe tomorrow. You can find it on spiritcafe.ca, which is perfect right before the lunar eclipse. And after that, we have a private meditation for the solar eclipse on Monday, April 8th. And we got so many people listening. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you. It's been... Seriously, it has been an interesting topic. It was beautiful. Thank you very much for being with us. It's 101.
I have one quick one to add as well. We also have it's quite a sought after class for spiritual communication and channeling, and that's starting on the 27th of March. It's a Wednesday night, and it's 9 weeks. So
that's an interesting what do you call it, course that you give.
Yeah, it's fun.
If anybody's interested on it, Twillo Lifestyle. Sorry.
TwilloLifestyle.ca.
Thank you very much, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Have an awesome weekend, and happy eclipses between now and then. And thank you both Malin and Sam for joining us today. That was an awesome evening. Thank you so much for being with us with so much information. I'm sure it will help a lot of people. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much
guys.
as well.